All right, everybody, you asked for it. Somebody. We're talking about C.H.U.D. So C.H.U.D. is directed by Douglas Cheek, who only directed two things: C.H.U.D. and a PBS original 120-minute documentary called Peter and Paul and the Christian Revolution in 2003. That's it for our boy Douglas Cheek. This movie also stars some big names. We've got two Home Alone stars in this. That's right, Macaulay John Hurd, who played Kevin McAllister's dad in Home Alone 1 and 2. He's also in After Hours, White Chicks, Big, and Sharknado. And we also got Daniel Stern, who plays one half of the Wet Bandits in Home Alone 1 and 2. He's also in Leviathan, Little Monsters with Howie Mandel, the original short film Frankenweenie, directed by Tim Burton in 1984. So, C.H.U.D. Let's talk C.H.U.D. C.H.U.D. is a movie I've been aware of for a long time. It's a name I'd think about every now and again. I think I discovered it just by looking up some stuff as a kid, and I just saw the cover. Because that poster image, whatever, it's always kind of stuck in my brain. And whenever I think of a weird horror movie title with an interesting cover, C.H.U.D. it comes to mind. It stands for, I'll put it up on the side here what it stands for, but that's what the acronym for C.H.U.D. stands for. C.H.U.D. is about 20 minutes of uninteresting whatever. Big rats. Really big rats. Hey, it's character actor, man. And then it's discovered that there's toxic waste being dumped in the sewer, and there's homeless people that live in the sewer who are being transformed into these, I almost want to say they look like cicada monster people, but they don't have, wings or anything. They just look like bugs and have gross tendril hands. And they're killing people in the sewer, and then eventually they start to come up out of the sewer and are in the midst of wreaking havoc in New York. And again, we got 1984 New York, dude. It's still pretty fucking slimy and gross and yucky. A lot of these movies that have yucky concepts, they take place in New York because goddamn it, that was a hotbed of just disgust. That's our main thing, honestly. It's just the creatures just are coming up from the underground. Daniel Stern plays a homeless man who runs a soup kitchen to try to just help out other homeless people. We have a chief of police named Bosch, who is helping Daniel Stern to try to figure out what's going on. We've got John Hurd and his wife, who she's just drops that she's pregnant out of nowhere, just so we have some extra stakes. He's a photographer. I'm not gonna lie to you, his side of the story is really boring until it all kind of intersects. Every time we cut back to John Hurd and crew, I was like, God damn it. Because what I'm gonna say about this movie is I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. I did not think I was going to like it until about 25-30 minutes in. I was spacing out pretty fucking hard in the beginning. I was trying really hard to stay focused and watch it, and normally I can do that, but there was just something weird about this movie where I was just like, God, I don't care. Oh, did I straight up almost 20 minutes into it, I was thinking of abandoning this and trying to find something else to watch. Because I was like, I'm not going to be able to talk about this at all, because I'm not retaining anything that is being said. It is just, it just feels like filler. Is this movie just filler? Is this just a tax write-off filler movie that released in January so that the studio could write it off and make it a ton of money from not making a ton of money? Then, about 25-30 minutes in, Daniel Stern and Bosch are in a meeting with government officials talking about the things underground. From that moment on, it picks up and gets really engaging and very entertaining. It's just you gotta work your way to that moment. And maybe that is interesting. Maybe I was just in a weird state of mind. I don't know. But that beginning chunk was just so uninteresting and boring that I was just debating on leaving and dipping out. I haven't cut off any of these movies yet. Believe me, if I knew that I had the option to cut any of these movies off, Stuff Stephanie in the Incinerator would have never been fucking discussed. But I'm glad I stuck with it, because once it hits that fucking business meeting, right at 30 minutes on the dot, the movie just goes, and then we're getting government conspiracies about what this toxic waste is, and this asshole making excuses as to what's going on and lying about how it's under control and we can't let the public know. Once it gets to that point, then it gets interesting and good. And we also separate John Hurd and his wife eventually. And while them together wasn't like a complaint, it made it more interesting when they were separate because there was a C.H.U.D monster in the apartment building with his wife, and she, goddamn it, put up her own and fought that fucker off, cut that fucker's head off. I think she's the only one that confirmed killed one on screen. What? Oh! Okay, there we go. It's dead. So, good job. And we had that going on, and then John Hurd is in the sewer system with Daniel Stern, and they're trying to find a way out as the military is like sealing. They're just driving like trucks and putting the tires on the manhole covers because they are sealing up the sewer because they're going to just release gas into it and then crack a match and just try to like flame out the sewer to kill everything in there. So they're trying to get out, and it's fun. It's engaging. It's interesting, and it's entertaining to watch. Finally, and I know that me coming back to that keeps it sounding like this was a really negative experience. For the first 20 minutes it was, and then after that, I had a great time. This was wonderful. I really liked C.H.U.D. I really like how you can view horror movies like this, where its central theme is toxic waste and radiation poisoning and whatnot, as what the general populace was like afraid of, like what they had fears of at that given time frame in history. Because obviously for the 80s, it was a lot of toxic waste. Look at the Toxic Avenger, we got C.H.U.D, this kind of stuff. The dude in RoboCop who gets melted and then run over. There was a big theme of toxic waste being a problem. You have that, and then you also have like in the 50s, it was like the Red Scare, where we just were thinking people were communist, and we got movies like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and others, I'm sure, I just can't think of them, but Invasion of the Body Snatchers is like a big one. And even like to now, I would say that like our big fear, at least something I've been seeing recurring a lot, I have examples written down for this exactly because I was thinking about it while I was watching this. I had quite a bit to think about in the first 20 minutes when nothing was happening. I'd say like our fear now as a general populace is like pregnancy or babies in general, or the fear of getting pregnant. And I say this just because, listen, we'll get into some real world stuff here, and I'm sorry, but women's rights are being systematically stripped away, and I see that reflected in the art that we're creating of people just being afraid of pregnancy in general, because in real life women can't get the health care that they need, or life-saving medical treatment that they need because they're pregnant, or just because they're a woman in general. And I see that being a big fear thing, like a big scare movement in a lot of our recent horror movies. I mean, for Christ's sake, we're being told not to take Tylenol when women are pregnant. It's the only safe it's the only safe pain reliever they can take, okay? You. But I have some examples written down because I'm not just going to drop that and then not elaborate. I have the first Omen, which is like a prequel, remake, sequel thing to The Omen, which is about a demon baby, immaculate, and the second Beetlejuice movie even has a scene of like, I think Jenna Ortega giving birth to like a demon baby. And like that's probably the scariest thing in the second Beetlejuice movie, because I mean, it's not a scary movie, but just that concept and what it is like, whoa, I'm seeing a little bit of that coming in, and as of right now, that's like one of the big ticket items of like general populace fear that I'm seeing reflected in art. A lot of real world events get reflected in art, and the sooner that you start seeing that, the sooner you can appreciate things on a different perspective. And I think maybe because of that, I liked C.H.U.D, which is crazy to say all that. That'd be like, so okay, because of that, I thought C.H.U.D was pretty good. C.H.U.D was all right. I didn't hate it. I thought C.H.U.D was a serviceable enough little horror movie. I will say some stuff in it's pretty awkward. There's like an absence of sound effects sometimes, which is just, what's going on? There's like such an absence of sound. It's so weird, perplexing. I guess it could be deemed as realistic, but because of this, like there's like a couple scenes where somebody gets punched, and it's just like there's not like the Hollywood noise when somebody gets punched. It's just like and it's just like, that felt weird. And then the way that they fall, it's just kind of like, man, it might be deemed more realistic, but looked a little weird. There's that, but apart from that, C.H.U.D was pretty good. I will also say, as a negative and an immediate positive for C.H.U.D, the negative is we don't see the creatures much. Positive swing on that is I don't think the creatures looked that impressive to begin with, so they probably didn't want to show them off that much, so it probably was a good thing that we didn't see them too much. We don't see the creatures too much, and we also don't see them kill people too much. What we do see, though, and this is a huge positive because this is really, to me, impressive because I like to think about how we are practically making these effects and whatnot. While we don't see the C.H.U.Ds killing people, we do see the aftermath of some murders and some killings, and they're graphic. They're gruesome. John Hurt and Daniel Stern running across that team of like cops and people in rad suits, and they're just like ripped in half with like spilled out of them, and it's like it's yucky. It looks gross. Oh wow! And it's a wonderful effect that they did. Even if we don't get to see the killings on screen, the aftermath is really you're able to get a full picture of what happened just by looking at the intensity of the gore of an aftermath with running into one of these. Really good gore. Like, we don't see the gore happening, but like the aftermath stuff is really good. There was a Hollywood superstar jump scare in this movie. John Goodman shows up for like 3 minutes and then gets murdered, but he's in it. I don't know if this was like his first movie or if he just showed up because he was around. I have no idea. But yeah, John Goodman's in this movie, and he walks into like a diner, and I immediately was just like, the fuck was that? John Goodman? Like, I was in disbelief. John Goodman? John Goodman? What? I think that's probably gonna be all I have for C.H.U.D. All in all, it was pretty good. Really slow and boring and uninteresting. 25 minutes at the beginning. And I would say just skip that and jump right to the boardroom meeting with Daniel Stern and the cop. I feel like there was some stuff set up there that might tie back in later. Maybe there wasn't. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't remember much. Maybe that beginning bit is really good actually, and I'm just stupid, which I might have been. I might have just not been in the right state of mind. I don't know, but I was just kind of like, it wasn't even on like a sense of like, oh, this is like so fucking interestingly boring, like stuff Stephanie the Incinerator, where it's like, I got stuff to talk about, but I don't want to talk about it because of how annoyed it made me. But like, I need to talk about how could somebody put this to film. With the beginning of this movie, I don't remember. I literally do not remember anything because it was so like head empty, just vacant stare at the TV, and I was just like, I'm not retaining a single thing these people are saying. Like, I hope that this isn't plot important because I am not. Nothing is getting retained. Like, a scene would end, and I'd be like, so what was that scene? What was that? What was discussed? But yeah, once we get to that boardroom meeting and onwards, it picks up, and it picks up pretty hard. So overall, I'm giving C.H.U.D a 3 out of 5. That seems pretty high for all the negatives I had and for how much of the movie isn't that great, because in the grand scheme of things, this is like an hour and a half. 25 to 30 minutes of this movie aren't good, then that's only an hour and 5 minutes that are good, which is like, I don't know, 35% of the movie is but hey, you know what? If 35% of the movie, you know what? 65 is a passing grade. So 3 out of 5 it is. I thought this was fine. I thought it was fun. Once it picked up and got engaging, I was in it. I really liked it. Daniel Stern is great in this movie. John Hurt he's there. And the surprise cameo from John Goodman really knocked me on my ass. I wasn't ready for that. But let's try to come back tomorrow for C.H.U.D 2. Bud the C.H.U.D. And why it fucking sucks. Oh! Oh! What? We just end it there? That was so effective, and then we just cut away? Huh. I wonder if there was supposed to be more to that, and they're not showing them too much. We're really not going to question the blood, huh? We're just moving on from that. That's just moving on from the blood pimple that popped. Yeah, I don't know. I think if the drain of exploded blood in my face in the shower, I probably would be a little bit more concerned about it than she is right now. Oh no!